Sorry about that. Right, okay, so there are 55 girls and 20 boys in year 13. I'm actually going to do that out of the sentence. 55 girls, 20 boys. The probability that a year 13 has a part-time job is that. So it's 2/5 of 55. 2/5 of 55. And what does of mean? Times. I'm going to find out what that is. So fraction 2 down 5 over times 55 equals 22. 22 girls have a part-time job. There, okay. And then probability that a boy has a part-time job is 3/4. So it's 3/4 of the boys. So 3/4 of times the number of boys, which is 20, equals fraction button 3 down 4 over times 20 equals 15. 15 boys have part-time jobs. Work out the probability that a student in year 13, so that is the total number that have part-time jobs out of the total number of students. The total number of students is that plus that. So that is 55 plus 20 equals 75. So it's going to be out of 75. So 75 students. And then the number that have the part-time jobs is 22 plus 15. 22 plus 15 is equal to 37 have part-time jobs. So it's 37 out of 75 is your answer. Personally, I think that was much easier than some of the other ones, and that was worth 4. You know how to do these ones. It's finding a fraction of an amount. That's all that was, and then adding them all together. Just remember all these wee tactics. If there's any of these that you're looking at that going, I didn't know how to do that, take some notes. Write down whatever it is that'll help. Alright, okay, so rotate the triangle. Oh yeah, I did not bring my paper with me. Only 2 seconds, I'm just getting it. Whenever you see the word rotation, you know straight up. Tracing paper. Okay, can't believe I didn't bring my tracing paper. Put your tracing paper over, rotate 180 degrees, so it doesn't matter what direction we go, and about this point. That's the most important thing. So this is how I do my rotations. Everybody does theirs differently, has their wee tricks, but I get distracted very easily, as you probably know, and because of that I started doing these crosses in the middle, so that whenever I started turning I knew when to stop. I just get very easily distracted. So I do my wee cross in the center, then I'm going to draw over my shape like that, and then I'm going to put my pen at 3, 1, so go across and then up 1. So there's 3, 1 there. This is where I'm going to rotate it. So I put my pen there, and then 180 is rotate it twice. But this is not going to be in the center, but it's going to line up with lines. So that's 1 rotation, and that's 2 rotations. See how my cross is lining up the lines there? That just helps me. Another thing you can do whenever it comes to like flipping this onto there, keeping it straight, you can always go back and recheck if needs be. I noticed that that's at 0, 4. So I'm looking at the coordinates to help me here. 0, 4, that's that one. That corner, it's at 4, 3. So 4, 3 was that one. And then that one is at 3, 6. 3, 6. If I draw that, and then I'm just gonna double check, use a ruler, don't do it freehand like me. Gonna go back, oh my god, where am I? I'm gonna go back there and check. So that was my center point. I'm gonna turn that around 2 times, 1, 2, it's lined up with the one that I've drawn. Happy days, so I'm right. So that was my 2 marks. And then, oh, 2 more, right, okay. Calculator, use your calculator and use it properly, because then this will be easy. This is exhausting, but it's 4 marks and it's an easy 4 marks if you follow all the steps. Right, they've told you that it's between 2 and 5. I'm going to go with 3, just because I always sort of start with 3. Now I'm going to use this formula, and it has to equal 16, so I always write that there to remind myself what I do. But this is how to put this into the calculator. Every x that you see, replace it with brackets, and then the value that you choose of your x. So I'm choosing 3. I'm closing my brackets. Then I'm squaring it. And then minus. And then fraction button. 6 down. Well, we can just put a 3 there. If you want to do the brackets, actually I am going to do the brackets. 3, just to like do that. And then equals 7. So that's going to do 3 squared minus 6 over 3 equals 7. Too small. So then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back and just change what's inside the brackets. Delete 4. You work with the whole numbers until you find, oh genie mark, you find which ones it's definitely between. Hit equals that 14.5. So 4 squared minus 6 over 4 equals 14.5. Too small. 5. Don't try and skip steps with this one. Not worth it. Delete 5 equals SD 23.8. 5 squared minus 6 over 5 equals 23.8. Too big. So it's going to be between those two. So I'm going to go 4.5, which is the halfway between both of my whole numbers there. So I'm going to just go back and do 4 point in front of it because I'm lazy. 4 point. So I have 4.5 in place, and that gives me 18.91. 4.5 squared minus 6 over 4.5 equal 18.916, whatever. And that is too big. So I'm going to go down to 4.4. Don't jump. Only go down one at a time. And I'm going to delete that for 4. 4.4. Yeah, boring, but it's worth it. 17.99. 4.4 squared minus 6 over 4.4. My handwriting is getting ridiculously awful. Still too big. So I'm going to do 4.3. And delete 3. At least not having to type the whole thing out. 3 equals... Oh my god, are you kidding me? 4.3 squared minus 6 over 4.3 equals 17.092. Big. Oh my god. I'm going to change it for 4.2 because that's just, life's not worth it. 2. Delete 2 equals 16. 4.2. 4.2 squared minus 6 over 4.2 equals 16.211. Really close, but still too big. 4.1. Delete 1. At least we're nearly at the end. Delete 1 equals 15.3. Too small. 4.1 squared minus 6 over 4.1 equals 15.34. Too small. So it's between these two. It'll be between 4.1 and 4.2. So we're going to do 4.15. And this one will decide which one we choose because it's to 1 decimal place. So our answer is either going to be that or that. 4.15 squared minus 6 over 4.15 equals 4.15. At least we just have to add a wee 5 in here. Equals 15.77. You have to put the answer down there. That's too small, so we have to round it up. So 4.15 rounded up is 4.2. So our answer is 4.2. 4 marks, but you can do it. And we're at the last one. These ones a lot of people haven't seen before or hate them anyway. So with this, you have a 2n in the centre. We have to find out the value of 1n. And to do that, we multiply the whole thing. Or sorry, divide the whole thing by 1. Oh my god. You divide that by 2, you get a single n, but everything has to be divided by 2. So that divided by 2 is minus 2.5. Symbol n. That divided by 2 is 4. So it's between minus 2.5. It's n is greater than minus 2.5. So if it's greater than that, it's starting at minus 2. So it could be there. And it's all the way in between there and the number 4. So it's going to be between these ones. And the way I do that is just chuck an x. N could be any one of these values because n is in between those two things. It could be equal to 4, which is why I've included 4. But it's greater than minus 2.5, which would be there. So it has to be somewhere from there to there. Done. Finished. Now go take a break. Go back to bed. Do whatever. But yeah, that's the whole set of papers. I hope that was useful.